Before we get into this concept of wirelessly communicating with people through our thoughts, we need to remind ourselves, what is energy? Energy allows work to happen, and work is defined by a change, some change in position or state. If you take your pen and move it 2 feet to the left or to the right, we can see that there's a change in its position. Of course, this is an example that work has happened. Energy is a force that causes that work to happen. Gravity is actually a form of energy, pulling lighter things towards heavier things. There's heat or thermal energy, chemical energy, electromagnetic energy. And the most interesting thing about all this energy is it travels as a vibration or a wavelength, which means that, like a radio station, we can learn how to tune in to the frequencies of other people. When you're ready, move to the next slide. We're constantly giving off energy all the time. Even if you find the whole idea that humans give off energy just to be a little bit esoteric, know that you're always giving off heat. This is a fact. You can imagine closing your eyes and bringing them slowly closer together and detecting warmth. Easier to do it with one hand palm down and the other one bringing the palm down hand towards the back of your hand where it's quite sensitive. You can feel the heat traveling as a wavelength. But we also give off visible light, and that's the picture you see to your right. Ultraviolet light, even nuclear radiation and radio waves. We give these off all the time. We in fact are like little suns, giving off this energy, radiating it away, mainly heat. When you're ready, move to the next slide. Cellular phone communication is an interesting, fascinating concept of how it works. Essentially, somebody takes their phone out, they make a phone call, which transmits that wirelessly, that number that's been dialed, to a cell phone tower, which then sends it, this is all happening at the speed of light, to then a switching station, which then sends the signal globally looking for the other person's cell phone. And when that cell phone is found, located, it connects it to the most or the closest cell phone tower, completing the cell phone call. In many ways, even without cell phones, since we are emitting energy, it's conceivable that we could have this happen too. When you're ready, move to the next slide. Just to remind you, a few days ago, I talked about that fascinating study where somebody was able to transmit a thought of the words hola and ciao to a receiver in France who knew what they were saying. So it does seem we have the ability, albeit this is through enhanced telecommunication devices, but nevertheless the ability, the mechanism is there. So today in our meditation we're going to practice seeing if we can send thoughts to other people. When you're ready, move to the next slide. For this meditation, we're going to be, as I mentioned, sending somebody a lovely thought. Maybe it's a thought of love. Maybe it's the thought of just wanting somebody to be happy or well. Maybe it's a healing thought. To begin with, find yourself in an upright and dignified posture. Your feet flat on the floor. Hands are in a symmetrical position. And begin to close your eyes. At the sound of the bell, I'll be guiding you into this meditation of consciously communicating with somebody at a distance. Start to focus again on your breath. As we talked about yesterday, you may choose to see your breath or visualize your breath like an ocean wave. As air expands into your belly, it's like the wave coming up onto the beach. As the air leaves your belly and goes out through your mouth or nose, it's like the wave going back into the ocean. Begin to experience this breath. Try not to judge how you're breathing. Every breath will be different. When your mind starts to wander to a thought, just allow that thought to float away and come back to that sensation of breathing. Start to think about somebody you want to communicate with. They may be in another building, another room, maybe another city, maybe another country, or perhaps they're even departed. They've passed away. If we think of somebody even who has passed away, we can think of them as still existing as pure energy. Something, again, that has a vibration, a wavelength, just like you. Therefore, we theoretically should be able to tune into them. By thinking about them, it's like making the cell phone call. I'd like you to start to think of this person and start to surround them with light. If you're having trouble visualizing them, don't worry about it. If you can see them surrounded with light, or even if you're having trouble, intend energy to them and repeat the following 4 phrases. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. And every time you repeat that, let's do that 2 more times in your head. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. See the energy around this person just growing slightly. Perhaps the light becomes more intense. The more intense we can make the communication, the more clear our conversation will be. Begin now to transmit a thought. You've dialed up their phone number. What do you want to say to them? What do you want to tell them? May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. Continue your communication. At the sound of the bell, the double bell will be coming out of this meditative state, and know that the communication that you've had with this person has reached them. I hope you've enjoyed this meditation. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.